After almost a year of aimless swimming, Springer, the popular killer whale, is putting down some roots. A photographer spotted the orca back home in her native waters of British Columbia and took a few pictures. Springer, you might remember, was rescued from the Puget Sound last summer, and now it looks like she has settled down with a few members of her family. We'll take a look at the orca's progress coming up in just a minute. First, let's check in and take a look at the forecast. Mark Coleman standing by in the NorthWest First Alert Weather Center. Mark? It's a sweet success. Springer the orca reunites with her pod. Coming up, we'll take a look at her progress.
You're watching NWCN, Northwest Extra.
It's being called an unprecedented success by whale researchers around the world. Springer, the orphaned orca rescued from the Puget Sound last summer, is with her family and back home in her native waters. As King 5's Eric Wilkinson reports, Springer's success story could have an impact on other wayward whales.
Fat and apparently happy, Springer surfaces on the northern tip of Vancouver Island.
Wahoo, this is great. Great news.
These pictures taken of her yesterday delighting those who worked to rescue the orphaned orca from the perilous waters of the Puget Sound off Elliott Bay.
This was a grand experiment. This has never happened before, where you take a wild killer whale and translocate it 300 miles in this case and put it back in its family, and it worked.
Springer first caught everyone's attention late last winter when she popped up in the busy shipping lanes of Puget Sound near Vashon Island. She was sick, skinny, and separated from her mother, who had recently died. After months of debate, the American and Canadian governments agreed to capture Springer and bring her back to her native waters north of the border. Nobody knew whether the whale would find her family and flourish or flounder.
Everything went according to a script that we didn't even write. It went beautifully.
Now researchers have their sights set on an American orca named Luna, lost and languishing for 2 years in Vancouver Island's Nootka Sound. Many in the U.S. hoping Springer's success story will compel Canada to return the favor.
Quid pro quo, Canada. Come on, step up and let's get this whale back to its family. It can be done. Springer just proved it.
Eric Wilkinson, King 5 News.
Here's another look back at a very busy year for the orphaned orca. Springer was first spotted last year in the Puget Sound near Vashon Island, Washington. The orphaned orca was sick, alone, and in danger of being killed by passing barges or ferry boats. So almost exactly 1 year ago, a team of U.S. and Canadian researchers transported Springer back to her home waters in Canada, reuniting her with a pod of related orcas.
Joining us now is Michael Harris. More Michael Harris. You just saw him in that story a minute ago. Thanks for coming in, though. It gives us a chance to talk a little bit more about it.
Sure.
How well is Springer really doing?
Springer is great. I mean, her skin condition is a little bit better. She's put on weight.
She looked a lot bigger. I'm surprised it was the same whale.
Yeah, well, we don't know for sure, but yeah, she's put on some weight. She's ate some fish out there. She's
quite a few.
She's made a living out there.
You know, when she was brought up to the waters, her native waters, put with a family. Is this the same family she's being seen with now, the same exact family? How is that whole hierarchy going?
It's basically the same family. She went out 7 months ago. She came back with basically the same group of whales.
And there was a story that it was her aunt, I believe. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
It was the aunt that took her kind of under the fin and kept watch of her. Is that?
I don't think we've seen A51, but I'm not sure yet. But yeah, it's basically the same group of whales she went out with.
Does she? I don't know how closely you track Springer, but. Does she take off, or is she always with her pod?
She is always with her pod. That's the amazing thing. I mean, it took her a few days to finally connect when we first did the release, and then she stuck like glue, and she's been with them the entire time. And this is big ocean. They travel 75 miles a day. This is it's like basically being on an exercise bike and then running a marathon. It's amazing.
We look at what happened, what is happening with Keiko, and I don't know, trying to reintroduce Keiko. Keiko was so much older and had never been in the wild. Are we fortunate that Springer was so young, and is that really what made this happen?
Actually, we're fortunate if Springer never went into a concrete tank, which are roach motels. They go in and they never come out. And that's the problem with Keiko, and I've been involved with the Keiko project as well. And Keiko's been in a concrete tank in Mexico City for 20-some years, and that's a little harder to decondition than we did with Springer.
Well, this is such a success story. Let's talk a little bit about Luna. Sure. You alluded to it a bit, but that is kind of the...
It is directly linked. We rescued Springer, and I think, unfortunately, we're going to have to rescue the Department of Fisheries Oceans Canada because they've lost their way as well. They came out and decided they're not going to do a thing with Luna, and Luna is an accident waiting to happen.
And let's tell people again, just to remind them, Springer was from Canada. was down here. We had to take her
That's
back
right.
up there. And Luna is from down here, but it's hanging out up there.
Luna's from Puget Sound,
Right.
an endangered population of 84 whales versus a population of about 215 up north. And, you know, and we exhausted a lot. We put a lot of resources into getting Springer up there, and all of our money, you know, U.S. money paid for the entire thing.
Right.
Now we're just saying to Canada, hey, you know, help us out here. We've got one of ours up there.
Reciprocation.
Yeah, you know, quid pro quo, like I say here. And it's and like the feds down here, they're tough to budge, but once we will budge them, and we're going to keep pushing. And yeah, so we'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, thank you for coming in and sharing the stories with Springer, and we'll keep an eye on Luna as well.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Thanks a lot. My pleasure.
All right, here are a few orca facts that you might not be aware of. Mature whales grow to about 23 feet. Females reach about 20 feet. Orca whales are the ocean's fastest swimmers, capable of speeds of up to 30 miles per hour. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of this. Killer whales live about as long as humans, reproducing over a similar age span, and most females first give birth at age 14 and bear 4 to 6 calves over the next 25 years. They typically live into their 70s and 80s. Males also mature at age 14 and live to about 60.